to get on to why we're here. We're going to relax. Today's ASMR is going to be, we're going to do a little cleansing with some sage. We're going to listen to a melody, a cute, quick little melody. I'm going to read to you guys and we're going to smoke. So sit back, relax. It is a brand new month. So we are going to sage each other, okay? Willie is gonna hang out with us tonight. He's very sleepy. That's how you're gonna be at the end of this video. So just relax, relax, relax. Relax, relax, relax. Relax, relax. Whatever stress you may be feeling, just let it go. Gonna start off with a nice clean slate for the month. You are exactly where you need to be at this very moment. You are exactly where you need to be. I got this cute ass little Halloween melody box. It has Jack on the front. We got a 0 on the side. It's super cute. And then you got the Nightmare Before Christmas on the inside. How freaking cute is that? Okay, now before I start reading the last few pages of chapter 1 for Think and Grow Rich, and if you're new here, do not worry, you do not need to catch up from the previous videos. You totally will understand what I'm talking about if you're just starting. But I'm going to smoke. You could join me. You could watch me. If you don't smoke, that's fine. She's a little cakey, so I don't want to show her. Okay, so I'm not going to do a huge dab like I normally do, because even little dabs get me high for like 2 hours. Like, it's insane. Right now I'm smoking on some Raw Garden. It's gonna be some rosé. So it has a good taste to it. I like how this one tastes. All right, cheers. It's perfect. Perfect. I have been like eating really bad lately, like processed food, junk food, and I'm like breaking out. It's bad. It's bad. Take care of yourself, guys. Okay, so I am on the part, I have like 2 pages left of You Are the Master of Your Fate and the Captain of Your Soul. When the English poet W.C. Henley wrote the prophet lines, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul, he should have informed us the reason we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls, is because we have the power to control our thoughts. He should have told us that the ether in which this little planet floats, in which we move and have our being, is a form of energy, moving at an inconceivably high rate of vibration, and that the ether is filled with a form of universal power, which adapts itself to the nature of the thoughts we hold in our minds, and influences us in natural ways to transmute our thoughts into their physical equivalent. If the poet had told us that the great truth, we should know why it is what we are the masters of fate, the captains of our souls. He should have told us with great emphasis that this power makes no attempt to discriminate between destructive and constructive thoughts that will urge us to translate into physical reality thoughts of poverty just as quickly as it influences us to act upon thoughts of riches. He should have told us, too, that our brains become magnetized when dominated thoughts we hold in our minds. By means with which no one is familiar with, these magnets attract to us the forces, the people, the circumstances of life which harmonize with the nature of our dominating thoughts. He should have told us that before we accumulate riches in great abundance, we must recognize our minds with a tense desire for riches, that we must become money conscious until the desire for money drives us to write definite plans to acquiring it. But being a poet and not a philosopher, Henley content himself by stating a great truth in poetic form, leaving those who followed him to interpret the philosophical meaning of his lines. Little by little, the truth has unfolded itself into, and now appears certain that the principles described in this book hold the secret of mastery over our economic fate. Economic. Another man who exemplifies being master of his fate is Steven Spielberg. One of the great motion picture directors, he dreamed of being a movie director from childhood. He began making amateur films with a primitive camera when he was a child. The dream never subsided. How Spielberg broke into Universal Studios is a legend in the movie industry. He took the Universal Studios tour, an attraction that enables visitors to get an inside look at the movie business. Visitors ride around the studio lots on a tram. Steven sneaked off the tram and hid between two stages until the tour ended. When he left at the end of the day, he made a point of saying a few words at the gate guard. Day after day, he went back to the studio for 3 months. He walked past the guard, waved at him, and he waved back. He always wore a suit and carried a briefcase, letting the guard assume he was one of the students with a summer job in the studio. He made a point of speaking to the befriending directors, writers, and editors. He even found a vacant office, took it over, and listed his name in the building directory. He made it his business to get to know Sid Sheinberg, then head of production for the studio television arm. He showed him his college film project, which impressed Sheinberg that he put the young man under contract with the studio. His first-length film, The Sugarland Express, received critical acclaim and won a Best Screenplay award at the 1974 Cannes Film Festival. Unfortunately, it did not do very well at the box office. His big break came a year later when he discovered the book Jaws. The studio had already decided to produce Jaws and had chosen a well-known director to film it. Spielberg desperately wanted to make this movie. Despite the financial failure of the Sugarland Express, his self-confidence had not diminished, and he persuaded the producers to diminish the chosen director and give the film to him. It was not an easy assignment. From the beginning, trouble beset the production. It ran into technical and budget problems. However, when Jaws was released in June 1975, it enjoyed a twofold success. It broke box office records and the critics loved it. Within a month of its release, the film had taken in $60 million at the box office, an unheard of amount at the time. Over the next few years, Spielberg directed several movies, including the popular Indiana Jones series, the award-winning The Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, and E.T. He later directed Jurassic Park, which would also become, at its time, the most successful movie in history, the third Spielberg film to break record. It also brought in $1 billion in gross receipts, toys, and other merchandise. Spielberg continues to pursue his dreams when he had two other Hollywood Mongols created into a production company. They called it DreamWorks. We are now ready to examine the first steps of the first of these principles. I'm sorry, I can't. Maintain a spirit of open-mindedness. Remember as you read that they are an invention. They're the invention of no single person. The principles were gathered from the life experiences of more than 500 men who actually accumulated riches in huge amounts. Men began in poverty with little education or influence. The principles worked for these men. You could put them to work for your own enduring benefit. You will find it easy, not hard to do. Before you read the next chapter, I want you to know that it conveys factual information that might easily change your entire financial destiny, as it has so definitely brought changes of stupendous properties of two people described. Proportions. Stupendous proportions, not properties. I want you to know also that the relationship between these two men and myself is such that I could have taken no liberties with the facts, even if I had wished to do so. One of them has been my closest personal friend for almost 25 years. The other is my own son. The unusual success of these two men's success that they generously accurated to the principle described in the next chapter more than justifies this personal reference as a means of emphasizing the far-flung power of this principle. And that is the end of chapter 1. So, thank you guys for listening. I hope you're sleepy. So sleepy. Yeah. I can't smoke anymore. I keep saying that. Alright. Bye guys. Have a good night.